Just the size of the right field here. We had talked about doing it a couple of years ago, and he got hurt right before we came here, and so we had him work out there yesterday, and we talked about it in Tampa. And the other thing is, Sore's used to playing left field; is more comfortable in left field than possibly playing right, and that's why I chose to do it.
Brett said he played maybe an inning in spring training in 06 or 07. Aside from that, not much experience there. What are some of the biggest challenges in moving over to right field?
You know, I don't really think it'll be too tough for him to adjust because he's played center and left, and he's used to the angle when balls are hit that way because he's played in center too. So I don't expect it to be a tough adjustment for him. You know, it's going to be a little different, but I'm confident he'll make it fine.
When you look at Pineda coming off the shoulder surgery, hasn't pitched in the big league since 2011. Has he almost exceeded expectations to a point so far?
Well, we weren't sure what we were going to get from him when the season started, that's for sure, when we came to spring training. But the way I saw him throw the ball in spring training, I'm not surprised what he's done so far. Obviously, our job is to kind of take it a little bit slow with him, and we've done that, and we'll continue to do that. But we're really pleased with what he's done, and he's been dynamite.
At what point in time do you start to push him a little bit more as far as the pitch count is concerned?
You know, I'll still be careful for a while. It's chilly. He hasn't pitched really in a couple of years, and you know, the goal for him is to make 30 to 32 starts, and that's what our focus is.
About the command of his fastball and his slider, which has been a devastating pitch, but how important has his changeup been? I
think it's been real important, especially against the left-handers. And obviously, he's going to see some left-handers tonight. I think 5. I think tonight he's going to see 4 or 5. It just gives him a different look. It makes it more difficult for them to sit on, maybe one pitch. So I think it's been real important.
Joe, has Pineda kind of gone from a guy that was a wild card going into, with the injury to Nova, a guy that maybe you're depending on to get where you need to go?
Well, I think you depend on all your starters in a sense, but obviously, when you have one guy go down, you hope the guys don't try to do too much and feel like, oh, we got to pick up the slack. The guy that starts for him, for Nova, and the guys that we use are the guys that have to fill his turn, not the other guys. So for Michael, I don't want him to think about that. I just want him to go out and do what he's been doing.
Could you just gone Gardner and left, each your own right? Was that something?
No, because I was going to play Beltran and Soriano. And the size of their right field, it's put a guy that covers a little bit more ground.
Beltran still shaking off any effect from that?
No. We had him take some balls in left field too, thinking about having him play left here. But with Sori doing it a number of times, we thought we'd do that. What we did.
How are you finding juggling the outfielders since they're all playing pretty well?
Since what?
Since they're all playing pretty well, how do you find juggling?
Well, you look at spots where maybe you can give a guy a day off, and you look at spots where the matchups are favorable. I think it's worked pretty well so far. We've kept everyone pretty strong here, and it's a long year, and I know that we're going to need all these guys. The same with the infielders. I know that I'm going to need them all during the course of the season, and what I don't want is a guy sitting for a while and not playing, and then him going out there and you're expecting a lot from him. I don't think that's fair. So we've kind of used a little bit of a rotation. There's no exact science to it, but it's worked pretty well.
Joe, judging from last night, what you saw with Jacoby, is that pretty much what you bottle up that every single day?
Well, I think we take that every day. But I mean, obviously, we know what he's capable of doing from being on this side, and when he was on that side, watching him for so many years, and he's provided that for us. And we've moved him around a little bit in the order because of some injuries, but he's a dangerous player.
So how would you assess Derek's play so far? Does he exceed expectations? Is what you expected?
No, I told you if I was healthy, I thought he'd play well. It was just a matter of how healthy he was going to be, and for the most part, he's been healthy this year. So I think it's kind of what we expected. Is that the heater? Just testing the heater.
How much of an advantage is it for them, their left fielders know this wall as well as they do? You've seen them play a couple balls right on the hop off the wall and hold your guys' signals on shots off high off the wall.
Yeah, I think that's somewhat of an advantage for them because they get to play it 81 times. Obviously, we have guys that come here a lot and have played it a lot, and part of it is where you hit it. I mean, if you hit it basically over their head and it's not too high, there's a good chance it's going to be a single for almost everyone. It also depends on who's running too. But I think it's an advantage for them.